Hello, and welcome back to CerbalizedRealism. This is the second half of 1954. It's June 14th. Jeb has just been air-launched once again in the KX-1 after getting that engine replaced from his last flight. Only being dropped like 150 kilometers out, hopefully he can bring it to the runway this time. He hasn't done that yet. He does a little stunt flying before climbing to altitude. He needs to be between 10 and 20 kilometers, flatten out, and go between 550 and 600 meters per second, and then climb to a height of 20 kilometers. As we can see, he is not far from the coast. Yet, with this tricky flying, he ends up way too far north. As he comes down to try to find the coast, he's like, oh no. And then he runs out of fuel and will once again ditch it into the ocean. Come on, Jeb. He was so close and then thought he could be stylish. And once again, cannot make it to land. He meant to land, but it wasn't there for it. He didn't want to land. Not on a runway with this thing. He gets a ribbon for 7 G's of acceleration. Experimental rocket planes for Jeb to go 28 kilometers and hit 700 meters per second, which will also break Mach 2. Vale gets what Jeb basically just did. 20K, 600 kilometers, but she doesn't have a rocket plane. Early Science Tech finished July 2nd, and the BioMan is ready to launch July 4th. This is the final contract, so also the last BioMan flight. The Kerbal scientists have learned as much as they feel they will from flies and mice in low orbit. And once again, the fins start exploding from all the heat and pressure right before flame out and separation. It just wouldn't be Kerbal without a little bang. The upper stage / capsule coasts up to just above 100 kilometers. The mark for the contract. As the heat dissipates, as on the thing I just won't let go of. How nice fairing separation is, unlike that second wannabe game. Maybe I'll start calling it KSP half. Because at this point, I wouldn't even really say it's half a game. Okay, back to the capsule, flipping around as it starts to descend. A good thing they stuck those little fins on it. It orientates correctly and gets ready for chute deployment. As this makes its way to the ocean, we had some footage corruption. Lots was purchased in the R&D, like satellite air electronics, research, primitive solar panels, satellite era science, early avionics and probes, basic avionics and probes, early flight control, and lunar range communications. On November 24th, Vale completed her contracts of going 600 meters per second and climbing to 20 kilometers. There were 8 upgrade points, 1 for the VAB, 1 for the spaceplane hangar, and 6 to R&D. Jeb took a mission course, but they didn't mount the KX-1 for the air launch. After they did, it wasn't refueled. And it won't be ready until after January 1st of 1955. So we'll end this here and call it good. Thank you and goodbye. Like and subscribe. Don't forget.